Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dale Center NASCAR Betting, our newest edition covering the Pepsi 400. I know it's the Coke Zero Sugar 400, but doesn't that just look a whole lot better? I don't want to hear any debate about this, even though it somehow is a debate on Twitter. It doesn't matter what the drink tastes like. Coke is objectively better than Pepsi, right? But in the NASCAR world, Pepsi was just way more attractive in terms of branding. I don't think that's up for debate. Have you seen the Daniel Suarez paint scheme? The Coca-Cola Zero Sugar? It is awful. You think Pepsi would have done that to a race car? Yeah, I don't think so. Welcome in, everybody. It's great to see you guys. I hope you guys crushed it at New Hampshire. I took the week off. If you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and are in the Dale Club via dubclub.win, you would know that. And I'm glad I did. It was a nice, good refresher. We come back to a place where we have been pretty successful at in 2026, and a type of racing that we've been pretty successful at over the last few years, and that is the drafting tracks. We have a new aero package. It's good. It has potential to be crazy. I don't want to say it's going to be crazy, but it definitely can be crazy, depending on how good the aero package is, which, as a race fan, you should hope it's fantastic. For betting implications, it really doesn't change much for me. The pricing is still relatively similar to what you would see throughout the season between Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta. The pricing between the books, there aren't many large discrepancies. So if you missed a line via the Dale Club, maybe you can take a top 10 bet that I give out here in reference and find the same line or a line that's close enough. I made the graphics this morning. I don't know how much they have shifted for Cup. I bet on O'Reilly this afternoon. I don't know how much they have shifted. Just figure it out. Close enough or the same, I think you will find on just about every sports book. Now, you're hearing me talk and you're like, why are you wearing the bubble goggles? It shouldn't even be a question on the drafting tracks. I should wear these every single time. If you hate them, you hate that I'm wearing them, I think you just disrespect air. You know, that's my assumption, is that you just disrespect air, because these allow me to see the air in the iRacing world. They allow Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jr., Mike Skinner, other drivers that wore them to see the air on the racetrack, even though the Dales did it better than everybody. You should not have a problem with the bubble goggles. But because it's not normal for me to wear them on the betting program, just for you, I'll take them off. Welcome to Dale Center NASCAR Betting. Why don't we go ahead and get started here? Before we jump into the top 10 plays, I'm gonna make one thing clear. We've had this conversation before. It could hit someone the wrong way. Daytona and NASCAR in general is just a sport of irony in great ways and in horrific ways. There's been a lot of tragedy in the sport over the years. It doesn't even need to be said, really. It goes without saying. I expect RCR to come out guns blazing this weekend to honor Kyle Busch, who sat this car on the pole in the Daytona 500 that Austin Hill is now driving and will drive for the foreseeable future in 2027 and potentially beyond. I think from a betting perspective, you should have both RCR cars, Austin Dillon and Austin Hill, on your betting card for the NASCAR Cup Series Coke Zero Sugar 400. I think the narrative is there. Can they come out here and honor Kyle Busch with a pole, with a win, with great finishes? I have seen way crazier things happen. Much crazier, ironic sets of just superstitious type of juju that happens in NASCAR. And if you've been a fan for a long time, you know this. So Austin Dillon, Austin Hill, they're not going to be in the top 10 plays, but I want you to know up front, I have bet them both, and I'm going to bet them both in many ways this weekend, because this sport is very ironic, again, in great ways and in terrible ways. And if RCR came out, put it on the pole with Austin Hill in Kyle Busch's car, win the Coke Zero Sugar 400, which is one of their two final opportunities to even win this year here and at Talladega, because they don't have the speed to win on intermediates or short tracks. If they came out and they accomplished that, it would be an unbelievable moment. And I'm going to hope that happens. And I'm going to bet on both of them and hope that they can come out with the RCR program and absolutely create a fantastic moment for the organization after what's been a very tough year. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's an opportunity. I think it's a betting opportunity to ride that narrative and hope that RCR can figure something out and find some juju to go to victory lane. Not that they need juju at this particular racetrack, because they got fast cars, obviously. So we're going to ride that. Now we're going to get into the Dale Center top 10 plays. We have the NASCAR Cup Series, and we have the NASCAR O'Reilly Series with the Winn Dixie 250 to go with the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Let's get right into it. Starting out, what do we have first? Love this. The dogs are barking. Brennan Poole. You know, some guys in this sport are just so unlucky, and they just are never able to find victory lane, even though they may have the talent. So far, Brennan Poole has been one of those guys. With that being considered, he is knocking on the door. He's had 2 fantastic Daytona races in a row that have just not ended well. Had a shot at the Winn Daytona earlier this year, was running around the top 5 last year in this race when they all wrecked on the white flag. I'm taking Brennan Poole. If you want to go even deeper outside of the outright, which you can find 100 to 1, no problem. Top 3, 25 to 1, no problem. Top 5, 12 to 1, no problem. All very low risk for a good quality driver. If you want to go deeper than that, 4 to 1 top 10, I think, is a decent price. If you want to go heavier on Brennan Poole, the Discord's been talking about it. Join the Discord via the link in the description, by the way. The Discord's talking about betting on Brennan Poole top 10 via Caesars, or I think the Score has top 10 lines. Caesars every now and then pops the top 10 market for O'Reilly. They have it this weekend if you're interested in that market. To pile onto that, Blaine Perkins sitting around 5 to 1, I think is a good price too. A guy in a very good car, finished 12th at Talladega earlier this year. But my focus here, top 10 plays, it's going to start with Brennan Poole. The dogs are barking. I love the underdogs at the drafting tracks. And Brennan Poole could be can't talk. Brennan Poole could be a serious moneymaker this weekend at Daytona. Now, to the opposite side of the spectrum, literally the quite opposite of a huge underdog in O'Reilly to the favorite in the NASCAR Cup Series, Ryan Blaney. 3 wins of the drafter since 2023. He's kind of wreckers or checkers. That's why we don't bet the expensive top 4 or top 3 or top 5. We're just going to take the outright. He came through for us last year in dramatic fashion. He can see the air. That's the key here, right? I need the bubble goggles to see the air. But guys like Ryan Blaney, as much he'd look fucking sick in a pair of bubble goggles with that massive overgrown homeless mustache. He doesn't need it to see the air. He does it with his pretty boy eyes. Ryan Blaney, 11 to 1. If you get 10 to 1 or better, you should bet it. I don't think you're going to see much movement. I think 10 to 1 will be available no matter what. I've already bet the 11 to 1 via Bally, I believe. So Ryan Blaney, he is the outright favorite for good reason. He wins a lot of these, and he runs up front in a lot of these. And typically when he gets wrecked at the front of the pack. Guys that run up front win these races, and Ryan Blaney arguably runs up front more often than anybody in the NASCAR Cup Series between Daytona, Atlanta, and Talladega. All 3 of which he has won at in the Gen 7 era. No other driver besides Tyler Reddick has done that since 2022. Eric Jones, he's an auto bet. I mean, look, if you watch Dale Center periodically or throughout the season, you know Eric Jones is going to be on the episode if we're at a super speedway or a drafting track. Ran great at Atlanta this year, 5th in this race last year. I don't understand why 15 to 1 top Toyota is hanging out there. 12 to 1 top Toyota or better. Like, he has consistently been, and arguably in the Gen 7 era, been the best Toyota drafter. Him and Bubba Wallace have, to me, have been the best too. Tyler Reddick is there as well. I just think Tyler Reddick has had a ton of luck in these. Now, yeah, I don't want to dismiss Tyler Reddick. let's just be clear. I love Tyler Reddick. He's 3.5 to 1 to be the top Toyota. That's just way overpriced. But if you take in consideration 2026 being the top finishing Toyota at Daytona in the 500 and Atlanta as well, I get it, right? There's going to be some recency bias there with Tyler Reddick, who has also won at Talladega, as I prefaced. But when you look at drivers who just make it to the end or just pop up at the end, Erik Jones is always there. He has a lot of bad luck, like in the Daytona 500, running second behind Carson Hocevar, gets hit, triggers the big wreck on the white flag. He is severely unlucky. But I think he has turned the corner, at least on the drafting tracks, with the performance we've seen in multiple instances in 2026. I love Erik Jones. Every time we come to the drafter, as long as he's sitting at 10 to 1 top Toyota, 8, 10 to 1 top 5, top 3, I'm betting it every time until we see something change in terms of the guys who just pop up at the end. Erik Jones is one of those guys, and just give him an ounce of luck, Lord. We're going to play it? What happened? What happened? Want to play it? Let's play it. There we go. Thank you. Back to the underdog, Zane Smith. By the way, whoever in the comments, I read the comments, and whoever mentioned the volume thing, thank you. I didn't even realize the volume thing was a problem. I went back and heard it. You're right. I don't typically watch over Dale Center. Thank you for bringing up the volume thing. I didn't realize how loud it was. Hopefully it's good now. Zane Smith, fantastic on the drafters. He really turned a corner here mid-2025. 5 of the last 7 drafting tracks, Zane Smith, 9th or better. Only one top 5 in that span, but you got to think, was running second on the white flag at the Daytona 500, was leading fall Atlanta last year late in that race, and he's won a Daytona in the Craftsman Truck Series. So I like Zane Smith. We've had a great theme in 2026 of first-time winners with Corey Heim, Ty Gibbs, and Carson Hocevar. Zane Smith, he's not super mega knocking on the door, but he has shown glimpses of being able to put himself in a potential winning position. I've seen enough. Zane Smith, you guys know I love betting on Zane Smith. Top 10, one of my favorite bets in that front row 38. It hits sometimes. Most of the time it doesn't. He'll run 12th or 14th. We know the talent is there, and I think he's proven it. Not just on the intermediates, not just on the technical racetracks, but sneakily at the drafting tracks. I think Zane Smith, 60 to 1 outright. 22 to 1 top Ford is just too long. I think you bet that down to like 16 to 1, because there are a bunch of guys listed ahead of him that just, they don't have anything. They don't have the results. They don't have the eye test. Talking about the top Ford category, all sorts of drivers in the top Ford category, they don't have what Zane has in terms of showing up at the end and getting the finishes. Bet on Zane Smith this weekend. Very low risk, high reward, great opportunity. Speaking of a great opportunity, Rajah Caruth has that this weekend. Rajah beat me in an iRace at Daytona on Sunday because 2 lap cars sucked up to him and pushed him to a win. Let's get those lap cars to push him to a win in real life so I can cash this 22 to 1 outright and my 7 to 1 top 3. I was mad about it on Sunday being in that race because I finished 3rd, I think. Lap cars and lap trucks in the way, shoving Rajah Caruth away from the rest of us. I will not be mad about it if it happens on Friday night. I think there's a huge initiative here when you look at the chase for the Cup. God, that sounds good. Sorry for the jump scare. When you look at the chase for the Cup, in this case, the chase in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, the cut is this weekend. And Rajah Caruth is 15 points below that cut line. They can coordinate all the junior motorsports cars to get him into the chase over one of the Gibbs cars. I'm sure one of those guys between Gray or Sawalich, Brent Cruz will crash. Rajah Caruth and JRM are going to work really, really hard to get him an opportunity to make the chase. I really like the 22 to 1 outright for Rajah to get his first career win. He's shown enough IQ at the drafters in 2026 that I think he's primed to get that victory. You saw the 88 win here last year. Cannot count Rajah Caruth out. No one's talking about him. They're talking about the chase. They're talking about the cut line. What we need to talk about is that JRM has all of their other drivers clinched into the chase. Throw Corey Day in there with Hendrick. They could get him involved. Let's get Rajah Caruth into the chase to knock a fast Toyota out and a fast Chevy in. I'm telling you, there will be a coordinated effort to work with that 88 car all night long, and I'm going to bet on it. Actually, I already have bet on it, and you should too. 20-1 or better outright for Rajah. You can find anywhere. 6-1 top 3 you can find anywhere. Well, maybe not everywhere, but 6-1 top 3 is still a good price. I got the 7-1. Take that if it's still available, obviously. Oh, which one did I click? Okay, we're good. We're on schedule. Benjamin Bill Byron, you have costed me a lot of money this year, but he is primed. He basically averages a win at a drafting track every year in the Gen 7 era. He hasn't won in 2026, and 16-1's floating out there. For reference, at the bottom of your screen, for fucking whatever reason, DraftKings is 8.5-1. What do they know? They don't know shit. Maybe though, there's something out there, and they're protecting themselves from an imminent Benjamin Bill Byron victory in the Pepsi 400. William Byron, I think he's a must bet this weekend. He has shown enough. He's always had the greatest combination of skill and luck at these drafting style racetracks since 2022. He hasn't won at Talladega, been really, really close, but he's been great at Daytona and he's been great at Atlanta. And I'm telling you, these Hendrick guys, man, they're going to be hungry after what has been a brutal summer. Elliott has won. The rest of them haven't. We know Kyle Larson's resume at the drafters. Can't trust it at this particular time. William Byron out of the Hendrick camp is the one that I can trust because he's done it before so many times. I'd bet it down to 14-1 if you had to. Why do the technical difficulties want to keep grabbing me here? There we go. I talk about Austin Hill and RCR in general, you know, with what they potentially have at hand this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series. Let's shift to O'Reilly. Austin Hill's won 44% of his starts at Daytona since 2022, which is when RCR took over in drafting dominance, really, in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. 3-1 is fair. If you have boosts, I see books offering boosts all weekend. We got football back. It's week 0. There's some profit boosts out there on several different books. I'm going to Florida this weekend. I'm going to use my boost on Austin Hill and try to take him from 3-1 to a better price and see how much I can put down. So I'll get to use Hard Rock, which does not happen often. Hard Rock mimics Bally these days in terms of their lines. 3-1's available everywhere. I'd bet 3-1 because I think it's fair. You hate doing it. You look at it and you're like, oh, fuck this guy. I don't want any part in this. He's not going to win again. And then he wins and you're just incredibly pissed off. Don't be pissed off. Don't allow yourself to get pissed off. Bite the bullet. Bet on Austin Hill. I'm going to on Friday when I get to Florida. Just a heads up, if you're in the Dale Club, you saw I did not have Austin Hill on the betting card for O'Reilly. That will change once we arrive in Florida. Brad Keselowski. You know, I'll look you in the eye on this one. I just love to suffer. I love suffering. I really do. I really do. Brad Keselowski used to be a guy that didn't need these to see the air. Then he started running second. Dale Earnhardt didn't run second with these all the fucking time. Jeff Gordon didn't run second. He didn't have these. He didn't need them. He had illegal race cars. Dale Jr. didn't run second all the time. Well, he kind of did at the Daytona 500 for a few years. The point here is Brad Keselowski has lost something, and the books have noticed it. He keeps sliding deeper and deeper down the board. I just will not give up. Brad Keselowski will win this race on Saturday night, and he will reclaim his title as the top air seer in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2026. He's done it all except win the Daytona 500. Brad Keselowski's pushed guys to wins. He's been passed on the white flag. When is it going to change? When is it going to be him that does what he used to do and come into the clutch at a drafting track? My point here is I just love to suffer. 22-1 is just too long outright. 7-1 top Ford, 7-1 top 3. I'd bet those down to 6-1 top 3 and top Ford. Brad Keselowski, no pressure. I know it's all about getting Ryan Preece in the chase if they can. don't think he won't take an opportunity to win. I know he's hungry. He wants to race in the NASCAR Cup Series a lot longer for his age. Again, no matter what I say, look at the statistics. I just love to suffer. What number is that? Fuck. I put him up on the board again by accident. We're going to have to wait this one out. What's another stat I can give you? I think he's got 4 second-place finishes in the Gen 7 era between Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta. He finished second to Chris Buescher this race 2 years ago, second to Logano at Atlanta, second to Elliott at Atlanta, second, I think, to Tyler Reddick at Talladega. I mean, he's been so damn close. When is it going to end? I pissed off Brad Keselowski Nation by pointing out that he's probably going to run second again because he's pretty due for that. You know how William Byron is due for a win because he wins a Gen 7 drafting track race just about every year? Keselowski is due because he gets a second place at a drafting track every single year. So while we're at it, go on Caesar or whoever offers it, take the damn exacta. Take the exacta. Byron win, Keselowski second. That hits, I'm going to be really pissed because I know it's going to be like 100 to 1. Back to the underdogs here. Anthony Alfredo, underrated air seer in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. In a plethora of different race cars, he has run up front. And even with that being said, this is a different year. He's had a ton of bad luck, but they finally got over the hump and had a great run at Atlanta a few weeks ago with a top 5, a double Viking top 5. You're going to see, you're basically just going to see ditto here when Retzlaff comes up. But I'm all in on Viking. Their pricing is fine. It's very similar to what it was at Atlanta. I'm pretty surprised it didn't come down on the positional props. I also saw BetMGM finally uploaded odds right before I started recording. Alfredo opened at 50 to 1 there. So head over to MGM, get the better price. But the top 3, you get 10 to 1 or better, fine. Top 5, get 5 to 1 or better, fine. Both are available. We're riding with Viking again. They are the premier underdog team in NASCAR. They run up front. They've got great speed at the drafting tracks. You run up front enough, you're going to start cashing some tickets. And that's what they did at Atlanta, and they might do it again at Daytona on Friday night. Boy, that felt good. Do I need to say it again? Do I need to say it again? I didn't love the 35 to 1 outright. I'm kind of just in that mode where it's like, well, if I'm betting on Alfredo, I'm going to bet on Retzlaff. I couldn't find 40 to 1. Maybe they'll get longer after qualifying. I don't know. I think 35 to 1 is fine. Parker Retzlaff, my gut tells me, you know, I said Brad Keselowski's going to win on Saturday for the Coke Zero Sugar 400. My gut tells me Parker Retzlaff's going to victory lane on Friday. I don't know what it is other than the obvious Viking is damn good. They're great at the drafting tracks. Retzlaff top 3 at Atlanta with his teammate Alfredo top 5. Great speed. Dude's got good IQ. There's just something in the gut that says Retzlaff's going to win. So there you go. Is that everything? I think it is. That's everything I got. It's easy too, man. Just rip the sheet up, man. Rip the sheet up. I always challenge people, and just for some general advice when it comes to Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta. I love the idea of going back and actually really observing these races, because what you can do with like a New Hampshire or a Richmond or some of these technical tracks, you can go on YouTube and watch last year's race and you can kind of skip around, right? You see who the front runners are. You stop and pause for a minute when you're like, wait a minute, why are they not first anymore? Why are they 13th? Because of some kind of caution, stage break, flipping it, you know. But the Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega's, like, you should watch those in full, because the stat sheet absolutely does not tell the full story. It never tells the full story, really, in any NASCAR race, but especially at the drafting tracks, because you see someone like Brennan Poole running in the top 6, top 5, 2 years in a row at Daytona and didn't get anywhere near the finish he deserved because of issues that happened on the white flag 2 years in a row. So the books are going to price him 12 to 1 for a top 5. In my book, 2 Daytona races in a row, he should have either been in the top 5 or right around it, without an accident or without that hiccup under pressure on the white flag earlier this year. So, you know, if you really are interested in, you know, digging deep, watch the races and don't skip around. Maybe they're kind of boring, especially with a double wide gridlock on Cup regarding Talladega. But I think my point here is the eye test is extremely valuable. And I think that's a huge reason as to why I've been so successful at these drafting style races. Yeah, you're going to get variants and you're going to have a great betting card and they're all going to wreck on the white flag. It's happened to me multiple times. It's probably happened to you too. But I think the eye test is so valuable in these races. Now, the kicker is the eye test is likely going to change now because of the hope that we won't have fuel mileage racing anymore. I don't think it changes much for me this weekend because I still, even with the stupid ass fuel mileage racing that we've had with an awful, unable to pass type of aero package, particularly at Talladega, Daytona's gotten better. I still bet on top guys. I still bet on guys that I see, no matter what the strategy is, no matter what the situation is, they find their ways to the front. William Byron's one of those guys. Whether it's luck, whether it's strategy, or whether it's picking his way through the draft, he finds his way to the front. Brad Keselowski, same exact way. Ryan Blaney, same exact way. Now, you could throw in a couple other guys. Christopher Bell. I think his pricing's just a little high. I'm going to wait on Christopher Bell, but I kind of hinted at another guy I wanted to bet on, and I didn't say what capacity, but Christopher Bell's a guy you'll probably end up seeing on the card because very sneaky, very underrated, and let's just be honest, with how hilariously bad his year has been in terms of closing, all the second place finishes, it would be pretty damn funny after everybody's given up on him and not thinking about him. It'd be pretty damn funny if he won a Daytona this weekend and finally get his first win of the season and start the chase with a ton of momentum. I think it can happen. I think Christopher Bell, via the box score and via the eye test, has shown that he's got legitimate potential at Daytona. We've definitely seen it at Atlanta. He's fantastic at Atlanta, but I think he's a little slept on at Daytona. The books have finally taken notice, though, and they have slashed his pricing substantially, at least in the top Toyota department, which is a big deal. And I'm hoping maybe we can wait a little while. Maybe they qualify badly. The Toyotas typically collectively don't qualify super well. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a bump there before green flag. If I have to bet it at 3.5 to 1 or 4 to 1, I might do it. Because that's a huge part of my strategy, is betting the top Toyotas, playing the numbers game. You get one big wreck, you wipe out half the Toyotas, you could have a winner, right? I play it every single time. In this case, Eric Jones is on the top 10. Bubba Wallace usually makes the top 10, but I wanted to talk about some other guys. Bubba is on the betting card. Don't forget that. Outright and top Toyota like he always is. I think 6 to 1 on Bubba top Toyota is fair. And then Riley Herbst as well is another guy I threw on there. Great finish in the Daytona 500. Honestly had a shot at the win right there in the mix. Has had some good glimpses at the super speedways. He's 22 to 1 top Toyota. Definitely worth a stab. It also would be ironic. If you're a Bubba hater, this is for you. I'm not a Bubba hater, but I can acknowledge how funny it would be if Riley Herbst wins and every 2311 driver, full-time or part-time, has now won in 2026 except for Bubba Wallace. You have to acknowledge it would be kind of funny. And he'd be fucking pissed about it. But I'm betting on Bubba and I'm betting on Riley Herbst as well in the top Toyota and the outright categories. And I expect to add Christopher Bell too, as long as we can just get a little better of a price. But 4 to 1 is kind of my minimum there if we have to take it. Anyway, that is all I got. I'm not doing any parlays. I think IndyCar's racing this weekend at Milwaukee. Alex Blo's got a shot to clinch a championship. That will be a fun race. But not feeling the parlays. I do have some parlays that I'm going to post. Sounds crazy, but I think there's a huge opportunity in Cup qualifying. I don't even want to talk about it. I kind of already hinted at what that is at the beginning of the program. I am going to bet on qualifying for Friday evening. I am. I think there's a huge opportunity there, and when I see opportunities, I'm not going to hold back. We're going to keep firing. Even though qualifying, I lose every fucking time. Still, between Cup and O'Reilly, we're up over 120 units between Cup races and O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races. We are going for 10 straight O'Reilly Auto Parts Series betting wins. Has anyone ever done that? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. With all due respect, I think I would be the first. It's very difficult. at all the different types of racetracks. We have not lost an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series betting card since Dover, May 16th. So that's a cool, worthless milestone if we get to it. Here's your top 10 plays, just a recap for you real quick. In order, if you want to see the specific unit allocation for these top 10, just head to dubclub.win in the description below. Join the Dale Club for just $8. You will see every single bet. I've got a lot of them this weekend. I didn't talk about all of them. I kind of tried to. I gave you some hints. I gave you some looks. But if you want to see every single bet, every single weekend in our NASCAR betting realm, join the Dale Club today. You're going to get ear fucked. My bad. Who comes up first? Austin Hill. That's a sign. That's a sign that Austin Hill came up randomly. He's probably going to win. Austin Hill, don't be surprised. Sweep the weekend. What if he did a triple sweep? Wins O'Reilly, wins the pole, wins Cup. That would be pretty awesome for RCR, and that would be the best way to honor Kyle Busch, who won the pole in the Daytona 500. But that's everything I got, guys. Quick, easy episode for you guys. Again, thank you guys for the comments and kind of helping me out on some of the technical issues. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope you like, share, subscribe. All goes a long way here on YouTube. This small little world of NASCAR betting. Our channel's growing a little bit at a time. But regardless, I really appreciate the support. Let me know what you think in the comments about my bets. Am I an idiot? Do you disrespect air by hating the bubble goggles? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're betting on. And hopefully we'll have another big weekend of the drafting tracks for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 weekend, a.k.a. the Pepsi 400 weekend at Daytona International Speedway. I hope it's a fantastic weekend. Enjoy week 0 of college football. You know I'm pumped to be back in football season. I got my fantasy football draft this weekend at the beach. We're going to pound some beers. Really excited for that part of the weekend as well, while we're watching NASCAR rip around at Daytona and hopefully winning some bets. Thanks again, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Good luck.